What is going on, Kyle? We are back for UFC 271. And how did we do last week on the fight night?
We did all right. I think we were about even by the end of the night. Luckily, we went huge on Philip Rowe. We put 5 units on him to win, and then I think 4 units on the TKO prop.
On the TKO prop, that was plus money.
Yeah. And they both hit, so that kept us afloat when a couple things didn't go our way. But we did all right.
Hermanson looked he looked okay. Somebody thought he looked good enough to win, one of the judges, somehow.
How ridiculous is that? But round 4, when he decided, and he said this leading up to the fight, he said, I'm not going to fight Sean Strickland's fight. And then what does he do? He fights exactly.
He immediately just caved and fought Sean Strickland's fight.
Right. And then round 4, he kind of was like, fuck it, let's go for it. And he won round 4. Yeah. I think that was the one round he actually won.
Yeah. And then round 1 was a toss-up.
Yeah.
But
he lost. I thought he lost round 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we got a great card this week. Starting off with Jeremiah Wells at minus 230, going up against Blood Diamond at plus 190.
Blood Diamond. When I saw that, I instantly had to tweet it. I was like, well, who the hell is this guy?
Yeah, he's one of Izzy's training partners.
Yeah. Yep. And I did some research on him. He's a kickboxer, but he's not like a well-regarded kickboxer. He didn't have the best record, but he's got to have something to make it into the UFC, whether that's just the name or just training with Izzy.
The name and, training with Izzy, I think, definitely helps.
Yeah.
Those two things.
Yep.
Like, all right, we'll throw you on there as the first fight on the early prelims and watch you get destroyed.
And Jeremiah Wells, he came out against Warley Alves and looked unstoppable.
Yeah, 100%.
He's a fucking monster.
And Blood Diamond looks pretty slow.
Yeah.
He's not fast enough.
He's not fast. He is unorthodox, if you give him that. But that's about it. I'm going Jeremiah Wells, probably by TKO here.
I think you're 100% right. Moving on up the card, we've got Sergey Morozov, another Kazakh. Kazakhs have been good to us.
They have been.
And then he's going up against Douglas Silva de Andrade. Sergey is minus 220, and de Andrade is plus 180 on DraftKings. Morozov is 9K. Silva de Andrade is 7,200. What do we think here? Hammer the Kazakhs again? Back to the well?
I think so. I think the line is pretty spot on because Sergey, if he's going to lose, he's going to get rocked and finished by Douglas Silva de Andrade, and that's what he does. He's kill or be killed. And then Sergey's the complete opposite. If he can get his takedowns going, he beats you. If he can't, then he doesn't. And we saw that against when he fought Nurmagomedov, he got no takedowns. And then he followed that up in his next fight, and he landed 6. So it's all about the takedown game. I'm going to be betting that Sergey does get the takedown game going because he's a monster when he does. Mm-hmm. Bet Sergey, and minus 220 is probably an appropriate line.
Yeah, 100%. And moving on, we have another pretty good one coming up next. We've got AJ Dobson going up against Jacob Malkoun, a training partner of Robert Whittaker. This fight is a pick'em, and I believe AJ Dobson is 8,200 on DraftKings. Malkoun is 8K. What do you think here, Kyle? Malkoun looked pretty good against Abdul Razak Al-Hazan, but Abdul is a fucking fraud.
Yeah. I think that Malkoun wins this.
Same.
Dobson's coming off the Contender Series. Contender Series fighters haven't always fared the best in the UFC. If you look at his record, he's literally fought no one. He's one of those Contender Series guys that doesn't have – he literally has nobody on his record. And Jacob Malkoun at least trains with Robert Whittaker, has fought in the UFC twice. That counts for something.
For sure.
I'll take Malkoun here.
100%. 100%. That's a nice, easy one. We got another pretty easy one, I think, too, up next. We got Carlos Ulberg, minus 260, going up against Fabio Cherant at plus 210. DraftKings, Ulberg is 8,900. Cherant is 7,300.
Yeah, and I like Ulberg.
Yeah.
He gassed himself out in his last fight.
Yes.
But Ulberg, I mean, his striking should be years ahead of Fabio Cherant, the Water Buffaloes.
Yes.
Water Buffalo did not look good in his last fight against William Knight at all. Kennedy,
or against Alonzo Menafield.
No.
In his fight before that.
Yeah. And then Kennedy Nizhwicki is actually a good fighter. So Kennedy was able to weather that storm. I don't know how, because freaking Carlos Ulberg was putting it on him. But I think Carlos Ulberg shows he's no fraud, and Fabio Cherant is. Even though I think Fabio Cherant is training over at Sanford MMA now.
Really? He's no longer at Lausanne MMA?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure I saw a picture of him training over at Sanford. But either way, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I don't think he wins this one.
No.
No. All right, moving on. Yeah, that was easy so far.
Yeah.
This one's a little bit tougher, I think. Alexander Hernandez, plus 145 going up against Renato Moicano. DraftKings has it at, let's see here. Moicano's 8,500. Hernandez, 7,700.
This is actually my favorite bet on the card, and it's Renato Moicano.
Yeah.
He really, really impressed me against Jai Herbert. I mean, he freaking kicked the shit out of him. He looked so good. Yes. He got 5 takedowns. He did lose to Rafael Fiziev.
Fiziev is awesome.
He's a beast, yeah. And he lost to Jung, who's no joke either. He beat Damir Hadzovic, who's a beast. I mean,
also lost to Jose Aldo.
Right. He lost to Jose. He's fought Jose Aldo. He beat Cub Swanson. He beat Calvin Kattar. He's fought the top of the division, and he's seen it. And Alexander Hernandez, I don't think is the top of the division, and beating Breeden does not prove it to me.
No.
His fight against Moises, though, was pretty close.
Yeah.
But yeah. I didn't think he won.
No.
And Thiago Moises, not as good as Moicano.
Not even a little bit.
No, so yeah, that's actually my favorite bet on the card, I think.
I like it.
Yep.
I like it. All right, moving on. We're flying today. End of the early prelims coming up. We got Mana Martinez going up against Ronnie Lawrence. Martinez is plus 240. Ronnie Lawrence minus 300. And on DraftKings, Lawrence is 9,300. Mana is 6,900.
This is a tough one for me.
I think this is closer than the line would indicate here.
I think so too. Mana Martinez is not bad. And his last fight was against Guido Canetti, who I know people don't think is great, but he's also not bad.
Yeah.
Ronnie Lawrence is very good. His wrestling is elite. He got 8 takedowns in his last fight. Yeah, he'll wet blanket you. He'll wet blanket you for sure. But I think this is a decently close fight. At the line it's at now,
I think it's dogger pass.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
But DraftKings wise, you'll probably need one of these guys. They're scorers.
Yeah.
They're scorers.
Absolutely. And at 6,900, I think Mana is probably the better play.
Yeah.
On DraftKings. He's a cheapo.
If he pulls off a win, he could be on the optimal lineup for sure.
100%. All right, on to the regular prelims. We got CT's finest, William. I'm definitely not on steroids, but I'm actually on steroids tonight. going up against Maxim Grishin. Maxim is minus 170. Will Knight is plus 145. And on DraftKings, Grishin is 87. Bill Knight is 7,500.
I was a little surprised at the line here.
William Knight's not bad.
I thought William Knight was going to be the favorite. Just look like reading the fight off.
Yeah.
I would have guessed he was the favorite. It's a close fight. I can see William Knight getting starched by Grishin. He throws straight punches. I can totally see it. But
right. William Knight does also love to avoid punches by just sticking his head straight back.
Right, yeah.
So that's not going to work against how big? Yeah, against someone with a 5-inch reach advantage on you.
Yeah, and that's why we didn't bet William Knight last time. This is a really hard one. I've been back and forth on it all week.
Yeah.
I just don't think Maxim Grishin is that good, and I don't think William Knight is that good.
Yeah.
What do you think about the under prop?
Well, I mean, we thought that the under prop was the pick of the century last time against Menafield, and it was 3 boring rounds.
Yeah.
And William Knight did. I thought he probably lost that fight against Menafield. I think he got a takedown and just laid on top of him for the last 2 or 3 minutes.
I thought he lost that fight too, actually.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's go with Grishin.
Fuck him.
Fade the roids.
Fade the roids. Although Connecticut is the MMA capital of the world right now.
Right.
Especially for light heavyweights.
Yep.
All right, where are we next? So we have Matt Schnell going up against Alex Perez, and
this is one
DraftKings.
This is one
first.
we've already broken down.
Yes, Perez 9,600, Schnell 6,600. I forget what the line is. Let me back it up a little bit. Schnell is plus 300, Perez minus 360.
Yeah, and we broke this down already. This fight was supposed to happen a month or two ago. I think Perez gets a knockout.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Should we just gloss over this one and fucking Roxanne Modafferi going up against Casey O'Neill?
Roxanne, it's her swan song.
This is her last fight in her contract.
I know.
I think she's probably not gonna try and do too much, in terms of taking a beating wise.
I think she gets finished.
Yeah.
Casey O'Neill's a beast, and she's mean. Casey O'Neill's really mean.
And Roxanne is probably one of the nicest people in the whole world.
Yeah. I think, poor Roxy, but she's going to get finished.
Yeah. Yeah. R.I.P. R.I.P. I don't see this. I don't see her being able to out wrestle Casey O'Neill.
No, definitely not. She's gonna get wrestled, and she'll probably get subbed.
Yeah.
She's so good. She's so well trained. She's just not an athlete, and Casey O'Neill is.
Yeah.
And that becomes a
Casey
problem.
Casey O'Neill is a serious fucking athlete.
That becomes a problem at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. This one I am looking forward to quite a bit. Andrei Arlovski is back in the octagon. Yes, the pit bull. Minus 150 going up against Jared. Still doesn't know where he is after the Romanov beating Vanderaa. I think we probably should hammer Arlovski here.
Dude, a 43-year-old Arlovski. I just struggle with it. I know Vanderaa is not good.
Vanderaa is very not. Well, Vanderaa is actually not terrible. He just, I don't think 4 months is enough time to come back after getting beaten to within an inch of your life by Romanov.
Yeah, but Arlovski doesn't have that power anymore. He's a safe fighter. And he's 43. I just don't know. I can't in my right mind take Arlovski.
Well, all right. Let's break down his last. So Arlovski does very well against lower level competition, which I would definitely classify Vanderaa as.
I agree.
So his last 4 fights, or his last 5 fights, he's got 4 wins against Carlos Felipe, Chase Sherman, Tanner Bozer, and Felipe Lins. Jared Vanderaa is not any better than any of those guys.
He's not. I agree.
And he's taking all those guys to decisions, which means, like you said, he's a very safe fighter. I don't think he doesn't like taking a lot of damage, and he's just like a wily old veteran here who's not going to knock you out, but he's also not going to put himself in a position to get finished. And he picks guys apart.
Yeah, he does. The only thing is that's weird about this fight is Vanderaa's style is like he's a volume striker, which is weird to say at heavyweight.
Yeah.
But, you're probably right. But 43 years old is such a red flag. I can't do it. I'm not going to bet it.
How old is Glover? C42?
He is.
All right.
But he's been fighting a lot better than Andrei Arlovski.
All right, we'll see. We'll see. I got him in DraftKings.
Line him
I got
up.
the pit bull. All right, moving on. Got another fun one here. Bobby Green going up against Nasrat Haqparast. Bobby Green is minus 140. Nasrat is plus 120. And where is Nasrat? Is 7,800. Bobby Green 8,400.
I think this might be a time to hop off the Bobby Green train. I think we're getting a lot of hype behind Bobby Green for what he did to Ally Aquenta. Mm-hmm. And Ally Aquenta was retired. He didn't want to fight. Yeah. I don't know why he took that. I heard him talking about it afterwards, and he was like, I don't know what I was doing.
Should have just stayed on the couch.
Yeah, he rolled off the couch and fought Bobby Green and got finished right away. Nasrat is younger by a lot. He's faster. And
his head is the size of a freaking pumpkin.
Yeah, he's got the big head. Vinny Chase, Andras, big head.
Yeah, big head.
Star power.
Yep.
I think it might be. I think this line is a little skewed because of the last fight, and Nasrat is not a guy that's going to get knocked out. He's definitely a striker by trade. Bobby Green does have a wrestling edge, but he doesn't wrestle. I think Nasrat wins a slightly boring decision.
I could see Nasrat split decision all day.
Yeah.
29-28 split. This is going to be in Houston, so expect some fuckery with the judges as well.
And it's the UFC, so always expect fuckery with the judges, I guess.
Yeah, but anytime it's not in Vegas, the Texas judges especially are notoriously bad.
They are.
So maybe can't watch out for those dogs here.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Especially anything where you think is going to go to decision. All right, moving on. We've got Kyler Phillips minus 420 going up against Marcelo Rojo at plus 330. I'm guessing, Kyler Phillips 9,400 on DraftKings. Rojo's 6,800.
Yeah, and this is another one where I think Kyler Phillips wins, but at that line, I cannot bet him. Marcelo Rojo is a finisher. Kyler Phillips did not impress me against Paiva, even though he did have Paiva on skates early on. He gassed out and he lost that fight. I was super impressed with him with his win over Song Yadong, and he's definitely the rightful favorite, but at minus 410, I can't take him. He's a DraftKings play, though. Good DraftKings play.
Yeah. 9,400 is still doable. I think Casey O'Neill is Alex Perez, most expensive guy on the board here, and then Casey O'Neill, and then Kyler Phillips is 9,400.
Yeah.
So not too bad there.
I'd rather take him there than place a bet on him, personally.
Yeah. Yep. All right. we are getting down to it here. Jared Cannonier. What is he? Minus 170 going up against Derrick Brunson, who just is coming off a win over a fat Darren Till with a torn ACL. This is the last fight. Jared Cannonier, I think his last loss was Robert Whittaker.
Yeah, and he got pieced up by Robert Whittaker.
Yes, well, Robert Whittaker is also fighting for a title.
That's true. This is a really good fight. Blonde Brunson is back. He's dyeing the hair blonde.
Love it.
Yep, and Blonde Brunson is a problem. I mean, his wrestling is a problem for anybody in the whole division. That includes Israel Adesanya, that includes Robert Whittaker, everybody. His problem, Derrick Brunson's problem, is his chin. He could be caught, and Jared Cannonier hits really hard.
Yes.
Yeah. We've been bitten a few times fading wrestlers recently, so I'm going to go ahead and go Derrick Brunson, because if you look at Jared Cannonier's record, it's not as good as it looks. He beat Gastelum, chubby Gastelum.
Chubby, over-the-hill Gastelum.
He lost to Whittaker, soundly. He beat Jack Hermanson, who doesn't look as good as he once did. And he beat the shit out of Jack Hermanson. He beat Anderson Silva by a weird leg break. He beat, what's his name? I wanted to say Dion Branch. That's not it. That's a receiver for the Patriots back in the day. Branch, what the fuck's his first name?
I'm pulling it up. David Branch.
David Branch, who was basically never UFC material.
David Branch, his last fight was in 2019, and so he was out of the UFC, 1-3 in his last 4 fights in the UFC, and then he fought in the Russian Cage Fighting Championship in December 2019. And hasn't fought since, right. And also lost in the old RCC.
Yeah, so Jared Cannonier, if you look at his losses, they're all to top competition, but he's never beat anyone of top competition. So Derrick Brunson I'll say Derrick Brunson is a top 5 guy. He's been a top 5 guy for a while. I think Derrick Brunson wins this with wrestling.
Yeah.
He might even get a finish. Derrick Brunson might finish this fight.
I agree, and I think it's very hard to take Cannonier here, although I am moderately tempted to, but we have made literally $0 betting against wrestlers.
It bites us every time.
So I think we are not going to bet against a wrestler this time.
Every time we're like, this time the wrestler might get knocked out.
This time it'll be different.
Damn it.
Nope, it never is.
He got the takedown.
That's like as soon as we stopped picking guys whose only path to victory was finish, we did way better. I think as soon as we stop betting against wrestlers, we'll be fucking smooth sailing.
Right.
All right, we're up to the co-main here, and this is a pretty ridiculous fight. I'm not sure why they made it, but I am very happy they did. Derrick Lewis is going up against Tai Tuivasa. A couple of guys. It's the unstoppable force meets the immovable object. Derrick Lewis, rightfully minus 190. Tai Tuivasa is plus 160. I don't think there's much upside for Derrick Lewis in taking this fight. Just because Tai Tuivasa is like arguably a pretty significant step down in competition for him, whereas Dacus was like definitely on his way up. And he was like, they were targeting him for a title shot probably in the next year if he beats Derrick Lewis. He got absolutely fucking destroyed in the first round. And I honestly could see the same thing happening to Bam Bam Tuivasa here. It's a huge step up in competition for him. What do you think here, Kyle?
Yeah, I think that you're 100% right. And I think we've seen a change in Derrick Lewis recently. He's now on the fuck everyone tour. Like, anyone can get it.
The Derrick Lewis revenge tour. He
Yeah.
just absolutely fucking destroyed Chris Stockhouse as a dog.
And
Derrick Lewis as a dog is ridiculous.
And you know what? I think he's making a statement to these heavyweights because you're seeing some bitchery from the heavyweights. Everyone wants to go ahead and defend Francis. They should make more money. And yeah, he probably should. But go ahead and fight. You know what? And then Stipe Miocic doesn't want to fight unless it's a title shot. All these heavyweights bitching. And then we got Derrick Lewis. He's like, you know what? Give me a guy below me, Dawkins, who's a stud, who's looked unbelievable.
And I'm going to knock him right out.
Tai Tuivasa, a young up-and-coming guy everybody likes with knockout power.
Everybody loves him.
With knockout power, who's on a win streak right now. What is it, 3 or 4? 3 or 4 wins in a row.
A couple.
And Derrick Lewis is like, I'll fuck him up too.
I'm going to ruin his career.
Yeah.
I'm going to ruin his trajectory right now.
Tai Tuivasa has been rocked before. He got rocked by Greg Hardy, and if you can get rocked by Greg Hardy, you can get knocked out by Derrick Lewis.
Yeah, I mean, his fighting style is like almost exactly the same as Derrick Lewis. Like, can't really wrestle, just fucking goes straight for knockouts, and that is not how you beat Derrick Lewis.
You know what? This is going to be a NeverHedge call of the night. Derrick Lewis is going to, like I said, I think this is a different Derrick Lewis. He's showing everybody that I think he thinks the heavyweights are bitches. I think Derrick Lewis thinks he could be the top guy. He might take Tui down.
He'll pull a Francis and like have never wrestled before and then just score like 12 takedowns.
No, I think he just needs one. I think he might take. I think he might take Tui down and really
just beat his head into the mat.
Yeah, smash him.
Just smush his head together like the fucking mountain.
Yeah. Or you know what? Maybe we'll see the classic Derrick Lewis head kick. He loves throwing that thing.
Yeah, those are fun.
Yeah.
Not if you're Tuivasa, though.
No, Derrick Lewis is scary. I think he wins by knockout. I think that's a safe bet.
That Sirogan beat down against him was probably the best thing that's ever happened to him.
Yeah. Yep.
Because he's on fire. Hammer Derrick Lewis. 190 is still juicy enough where you can...
and the TKO prop, you can still get plus money somehow. So, hammer that while you can. That's going to change.
Yep. All right, moving on to the main event here. Izzy, also probably on roids, going up against Robert Whittaker. Have you seen his gyno pictures?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got the boobs.
Got the titties.
I mean, seriously, though, does that mean he's on steroids?
Typically, yes. Fucking 185-pound men don't just get boobs.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah. Typically, there's extra estrogen buildup from jacking your testosterone up.
Yeah.
I would refer out to Derrick for more plates, more days, more on that. I think he did a breakdown on his gyno that I watched. And it's pretty But I do think he wins.
He probably wins. I hate him so much. Honestly, I don't like Israel Adesanya. I know people like to hate on me for that. I tweeted something about him earlier that got a couple people all jacked up. But I don't like Izzy. Everything he says comes off wrong.
Yeah.
I don't want to compare him to John Jones because he's not like John Jones. I don't think he's an actual piece of shit or anything like that. I just think
part of it's an act for Izzy.
Exactly.
But he's also kind of wild.
He doesn't come off as genuine at all.
Yeah.
And he also comes off as cocky.
Yeah. I mean, he's very good.
Yeah, I mean, saying that you were bored in the fight against Jan Blachowicz, dude, you lost the fight. Maybe get unbored and try to fucking win. I don't know. That sounds like an excuse to me. Oh yeah, I was bored.
1,000% excuse.
Yeah. Yeah, no. And that's the only thing that scares me a little bit in this fight for him, taking Izzy wise, is that Robert Whittaker's smart as fuck. Right. And he saw what Jan did, and I fully expect him to mix in wrestling in this fight. And we did not see that in their first fight.
Yeah.
The over prop might be decent. I think this goes decision. But I'm leaning dog or pass, even though I do think Izzy wins. I'm with you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's sitting at minus 280 right now. It's pretty a lot of juice to lay.
Yeah.
For, someone... I could... If this line opened up as Izzy minus 150, I would not have been shocked.
Right, yeah. I'll take Bobby Knuckles at plus 2, so whatever. Give me him.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
He's good enough. Fuck it.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Were you able to make a DraftKings lineup?
I was. So I made a pretty balanced lineup. I left 400 on the table.
Okay.
I'll start with my most expensive. Like I said, I went balanced for this one. So Carlos Ulberg was my first pick. I don't know if he'll be that popular coming off a loss, but if you look at the numbers, he threw 146 strikes in that fight.
That's a lot.
With a win, that's a lot of DraftKings points.
Yeah.
Second most expensive, Derrick Lewis. I know he'll be really popular. I've thought about fading him for that reason, and I will fade him in some lineups just because I do think he wins, but you can get a knockout win and only get 90 points.
Right, if you knock someone out in the first couple of seconds.
Right, and at his price point, 88, if somebody around that price point scores more than 90, there's a world where he's not on the optimal. So I think he's very safe to pick, especially in cash lineups. But I also think there's reasons to fade him. I then went Renato Moicano. I think he's a great pick. And then I dropped down to Jacob Malkoun, Nasrat Haqparast, and Derrick Brunson.
I like it. I am slightly different. I'll go cheapest to most expensive because that's kind of how I did it when I was making my. I went with Mana Martinez at 6,900 because that
pick.
Saved up. Yeah, it's pretty solid dog play here, and great value at 6,900, and he's got a decent shot of winning. And then second least expensive is Nasrat Haqparast. Again, don't know why he's dog here. And then, let's see, went Andrei the Pitbull Arlovski. I think he gets a decision win here.
Your boy.
Probably doesn't throw a ton of strikes, but I'm sure it's probably going to be a pretty high-volume fight, especially since Vanderaa is a volume thrower. So I'm sure he's going to be getting quite a few counter punches in. Then we got Derrick Lewis, Ulberg, and Izzy. I took Izzy just because it's a 5-round fight, and I do think he wins.
Yeah, and he is live, of course, for a finish in rounds 3 through 5 too. So
yeah,
and he had Bobby Knuckles on skates in round 1 actually in their first fight, but
yeah,
but Bobby
I don't
Knuckles
think Whittaker gets destroyed like he did in the first fight.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, it's a great card. I'll be in Costa Rica.
I will be on the couch taking notes.
I'll be looking for property out in Costa Rica. So.
Yep. NeverHedge South.
Putting up the flag.
Right. Yep.
All right.
All right, bud.
All right.
See you in a couple.